A decade later, our country continues to mourn. And today at PNC Park, throughout baseball and the world, we remember those lost and affected by the events of the morning of September 11th, 2001. Getting set for Game 3 of a 3-game series between the Pirates and the Florida Marlins. Good afternoon and welcome to PNC Park along with Bob Walk. I'm Tim Neverett. Baseball was and continues to be part of the healing process as far as getting America great. And of course, America's always been great. But it is greater now as this country is very much united, and it was baseball shortly after the attacks that kind of brought the country together and really focused in on one major thing. This country is united. And Bob, certainly it's been a big part of the healing process, this game.
Well, anytime there's something that is huge as that was a giant disaster for the country, I think people want to get back to some kind of life that is recognizable, is more normal, and sports and baseball in particular has always been that for this country through Great Depressions, World Wars, whatever. Baseball has always been there, something that people could go to as a release from what is going on in this world. And certainly 10 years ago in September, baseball was that release for the country.
James McDonald and Javier Vasquez, the pitching matchup today. Volunteers taking donations outside PNC Park for the construction of the memorial in Shanksville. Three-game set here at PNC Park. There's the Bucks and James McDonald to the hill. Right-hander 9-3. And he will face Jack McKeon's lineup for the Florida Marlins. It comes out this way. Emilio Bonifacio on a 12-game hitting streak right now. Omar Infante, Greg Dobbs, Gabby Sanchez, the first baseman, hitting cleanup. Peterson in center field, and Murphy, Dominguez. Brett Hayes does the catching, and Javier Vasquez, the veteran, will do the pitching, and he'll bat 9.
Take a look at J-Mac's numbers on the year. There you see him, 9-7, the ERA under 4. But really, this is the place where he has excelled this year here at PNC Park. loves to pitch in that white uniform in front of the home folks. It's just been a great season for him here at home. Hopefully today that will continue.
5-1 this season at home, 9-2 overall at PNC Park, and overall an earned run average under 3. 1-2 career versus the Marlins in 3 games, so trying to even up that record. James McDonald takes his 9-7 record this year, looking for win number 10 in this game against Florida. Pirates trying to salvage a game of this 3-game series.
J-Mac loves to work the ball upstairs, likes to try and get the swings and misses, and he's a fly ball pitcher most of the time, and this ballpark is conducive to that type of pitcher, his style. I think that's why he excels here.
Defensively, Presley, McCutchen, and Ludwig the outfield. Josh Harrison starts at third. Cedeno back at shortstop. Walker and Lee on the right side, and Ryan Doman back behind home plate catching James McDonald. Ryan Ludwig, who when he first arrived on the scene was a left fielder. He had been a right fielder for quite a bit of time in not only St. Louis but San Diego, so either corner outfield spot, good for him. Bonifacio tries to chop at that one for strike 1.
Like he tries to slap that ball by Harrison.
And a ground ball to second base. And Walker handles that easily. 1 man out. Before the game, the Pirates announcing the extension of the contract of Pirates general manager Neil Huntington. His contract good through 2014, a club option for 2015. And Neil had been praised by both Chairman Bob Nutting and team president Frank Coonley, as saying he's revamped the entire scouting and development system and brought talent into the organization. They feel this is just the beginning of where the Pirates are headed.
We'll have an opportunity to talk to Neil a little later on in the ball game. He's going to come in for a visit. We'll congratulate him about that new contract extension.
Omar Infante takes a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Infante hitting .277 for the Marlins.
Big night, first game in town.
Friday night, his first career 5 RBI game. Also tied a career high with 2 home runs in a game. 6th time he had done that. The last time was August 2nd at the Mets. His second 2-homer game this year. Foul ball. And it's 1-2.
The Marlins are certainly not having the season that they envisioned this year. They were so good early on.
Infante's got a base hit.
Of course, the way they've been playing, it looks like the same team. The way they've been playing the first couple of nights. We'll take a look at the strike zone presented by Range Resources. Ball away, and he just didn't try to pull it. Go right back through the middle with it. But Tim, you and I, we talked early on about how good they looked and how maybe they could challenge, do a little damage in that Eastern Division.
Well, that's the way they looked in April.
Yeah, it just didn't work out for them. A couple of big injuries. They lost their best starting pitcher. They lost their best player in Hanley Ramirez. And they just didn't have the depth that they needed to stay in there and hang tough.
80-year-old Jack McKeon in the dugout for the Marlins.
Yeah, they would have liked to have been somewhere up there like where Atlanta is right now.
Dobbs hits this one to center. McCutchen waits for it and records the out. Two men out for Florida. James McDonald now will face the first baseman Gabby Sanchez. Sanchez did not start game 1 on Friday. Jose Lopez did, but Lopez came up lame with a hamstring issue. Sanchez finished out the game and has been back at first.
Not much power in this Marlin lineup this afternoon. Sanchez, the only player that has double figures in home runs, has 18. Dobbs, who just flew out, next closest with 7.
And Mike Stanton with 32 on the bench. I know Mike was talked about last night during the telecast, but still he is battling a lingering hamstring problem. Sanchez takes a strike from James McDonald. Sanchez has a hit in 12 of 18 games since the 21st of August. Hitting .298 during that span. And a ground ball toward the hole, backhanded by Cedeno, and they get the force at second base. James McDonald gives up the hit, and that's it. Through a half inning, no score.
By Barrel Automotive, Barrel.com, definitely worth the click. And by PNC, for the achiever in you. Let's go, Bucks!
Welcome back to this Sunday afternoon game at PNC Park. No score, heading to the bottom of the first inning. Veteran right-hander Javier Vasquez on the hill for the Marlins. And he'll face this lineup brought to you by Toyota. Alex Presley, Neil Walker back in the 2 spot, and Drew McCutcheon hitting 3rd, and Derek Lee, Ryan Domit, Ludwig Harrison, Cedeno, and McDonald on the hill batting 9. Presley with a .306 average. Facing Vasquez, and lays one down foul. Pirates looking for some base runners after being one hit last night by Anibal Sanchez. Take a look at our PNC achievement today for the achiever in you, and it is Javier Vasquez. Some nice numbers for him.
Well, certainly a very nice career. You look at the 11 straight season with 10 or more wins. Just needs one more to crack into double figures again this year, and he's finishing the season very strong.
Vasquez has pitched for the Expos, was with Montreal for quite a while. Been with the Yankees twice, Arizona, the White Sox, the Braves, and now the Marlins. Gets ahead of Presley, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 35 years of age from Ponce in Puerto Rico. His last 14 starts much better than his first 14. And he strikes out Presley.
And his last 8 have been excellent.
9 and 11 this season. Got a win Monday against the Mets, throwing 7. Kept it under 100 pitches. Struck out 7. 3-2 over his last 8 starts. 6-3 against the Bucks. And 2 complete games in 15 starts against the Pirates.
He's been going very deep lately too. You saw that averaging 6 2/3 innings. Finishing strong. From Ponce, huh? That's the home of the Lions. Leones played a year of winter ball down there.
0-1 pitch. Walker swings through it, strike two.
I think Sid Bream was with Ponce that year.
How many games did you pitch? Do you remember?
No.
I mean, typically in the winter, you're going to get.
I was there from
how many starts?
October to spring training. I stayed the whole time.
Oh. One thing about Vasquez's game, it's the strikeout. During his last outing, moved into 29th place on the all-time strikeout list, passing Hall of Famer Christy Mathewson. There's 2,508 after the strikeout of Alex Presley.
And that was another problem for the Pirates again last night. The strikeout numbers up in double figures. When you evaluate the season over the wintertime, that's one of the things I'm sure that everybody's going to be looking at is either going to have to hit more home runs or cut down on those Ks. You see some teams with big strikeout numbers, and normally, not always, but normally that goes hand in hand with some big home run numbers. But if we're going to be a team that plays a small ball, uses our speed, move runners up, we're going to have to get more balls put in play.
1-2 pitch.
We're third from the bottom in strikeouts, aren't we?
1,161. St. Louis doesn't strike out very much. 883 times.
A lot of pitches this at bat. See that last one. You look at the strike zone presented by Range Resources, way up and away.
Neil works a full count. Yesterday, Neil celebrated his 26th birthday.
He got our hit.
He did.
Did it nicely.
Solidly struck, but right at Omar Infante. 2 down. There's Andrew McCutchen.
Nice hand for Andrew. And he deserves it. What a fine year he is having. Sure wish we could find a way to help him get another 15 RBIs. Love to see him get to 100. We're running out of games, but it could be done.
16 games after today remain, and he has a few multi-RBI games that'll help. He had 4 on Wednesday against Houston.
Got to get some base runners on in front of him.
Ground ball to short. Ronnie Murphy throws him out. The Pirates gone in order in the bottom half of the first inning.
ever felt for our country, for individuals, for the city of New York, and Pennsylvania, and Washington, D.C. I mean, the only other time I can compare it to was when the President Kennedy was shot, and I was a young child. I can remember the clothes I was wearing, where I was, what was going on. It's the same way with 9/11. So it's a day of reckoning.
Clint Hurdle talking before the game with our Dan Potash on the field about what he remembers on September 11, 2001. Peterson lifts this one into shallow left center field. That'll be in for a hit. Marlins center fielder gets on with a leadoff single.
Not just enough of it. The game of baseball, if you can just get the ball put in play, as you can see, that one right down the middle. If you get the ball put in play, sometimes, even though you don't hit it well, you're going to get a base hit out of it, and that's the case here. And this ball was going nowhere. Right off the handle. But look at the box score tomorrow. All the hits, they look like line drives the next day.
Now Donnie Murphy batting with nobody out and a man on. Takes ball one. Still hear the helicopters that are hovering around downtown. There's an air show nearby. One ball and no strikes now to Murphy. Peterson, the runner at first base. And McDonald's 1-0. Swing and a miss, and the throw down is in time to get him.
Oh, what a great play by Walker on the other end there. Dig that ball out of the dirt. In a 1-0 count, great hit and run, because you know you're going to get a strike, or you hope you can, but wasn't put in play. Walker able to get the ball picked out of the dirt and then get the tag back down. The reason that's so tough is when you're catching a ball coming out of the dirt, most of the time your glove is coming up to the baseball as you're picking that ball. Now it has to stop and go back the other direction in order to get that tag down.
Foul ball to Murphy.
Peterson, he was looking over his shoulder, and you could see when he saw the swing and miss, it was like, oh no. He almost tried to speed up at that point. He realized I have no protection. I'm out here. I'm going to be a dead duck. But nothing you can do at that point. You just you keep running and you hope it's a bad throw.
Here comes Presley with a running grab.
Oh, nice strike on that ball.
Good read right off the bat by Alex Presley. Got a good jump.
Yep, the ball is not hit hard, and first couple steps immediately in.
Two men out for the third baseman, Matt Dominguez. Interesting headgear today.
Black and gold. Whoa. Looked like a pretty good pitch. Guess was inside.
4 for 8. And 3 of those 4 hits came last night. This one's popped up and playable. Ryan Domit tosses the mask aside. They'll make the grab. And J-Mac for the second straight inning faces just 3 batters.
Baseball on Root Sports is sponsored by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Our day key matchup of the ball game. Derek Lee, 375 against Javier Vasquez. 21 out of 56, 10 extra base hits, 16 RBIs. He's hit safely in 10 of 12 games since joining the Pirates. Day Automotive, we're going to make your day. First pitch fouled off. And it's 0-1 to Derek Lee.
21 hits and 56 at bats, pretty impressive, but almost half of them for extra bases. And he definitely owns this matchup.
Three of those extra base hits have been home runs. No balls and 2 strikes to Derek Lee. And he waited on that one and pulled it foul. Vasquez came in with a breaking ball.
Well, just hung a soft one out there. About mid-thigh. Lee would like to see a bunch of those this afternoon.
He's a dangerous guy to hang a breaking ball to.
Yes, he is.
Fights that one off foul and stays a ball at 2 strikes.
He's a dangerous guy on just about any pitch, though. Fabulous career. And still going.
And Derek will sit down after the season, figure out what he wants to do with it. And the Pirates are going to give him a strong look down the stretch.
Trying to stay away from him. Off the plate inside. 65. Won't even get a speeding ticket with that one, will you?
Nope, they won't even look your way. Lee hits it well to right. And getting there is Greg Dobbs for the out. In case you missed it, brought to you by Subway. Last night, Lyle Overbay walked in walk-off fashion in the 10th inning. As the Diamondbacks beat the Padres, Danny Evelyn, 7 shutout innings, got a 2nd win this year. Felipe Paulino of the Royals, 7 innings, 11 strikeouts, tied his career high. Dan Herron, complete game 4-hit shutout against the Yankees.
How about that? The Yankees have been shut out 7 times.
Seems like no matter where Dan Herron is, he wins. Take a look at what's happening in the American League Western Division. The Angels a game and a half behind the Rangers now. Oakland and Seattle too far back. Just on the verge of elimination, actually. And Doman stings one foul.
That's definitely going to be a race to the end, it looks like, in the AL West.
And that Diamondbacks win last night, Lyle Overbay hit a home run to tie that one. And then walked with the bases full to win it. Pirates will see Overbay and the Diamondbacks next week in Phoenix. Oh, 2. Outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Even count to Doman. Doman had 2 hits Friday. Over his last 7 games has been hitting .522, 12 out of 23. 6-game hitting streak for Doman. Notice the players wearing the American flags on the back of the uniforms and on the sides of the game hats today. This day of remembrance. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dolan fouls it off.
You know, we remember the victims. We talk about the horror involved in what happened, but there was also tremendous heroism that day. People sacrificing their lives for people that they never met. And that was definitely another example of the good side, the great side of human nature. You had people that knew what the consequences were going to be. They took it upon themselves to step up and save others. Whether it was on that plane over Shanksville or going up the stairs when other people were coming down.
Payoff pitch misses, and that is ball 4. So Domit down to first base. Downtown in Pittsburgh, one way that folks are remembering is with the brief biographies that are seen. A passenger, crew, 40 members that were remembered on Flight 93. Brief biographies of each, and Todd Beamer, who's saying "Let's roll," was uttered by many and used as a rallying cry when they were ready to take over that aircraft. Ryan Ludwig now with an 0-1 count on him. 239 the average for Ryan. Now it's 0-2. Ludwig with 71 runs batted in. The majority of those were driven in while with the San Diego Padres just before the trade deadline. Ludwig has made it on base safely in 13 straight starts. Count will remain 0-2. Perry busy at work today on a Kids Day Sunday. Better watch out with him around.
It's got to be the Parrots' favorite day of the week. Kids Days. Uh-oh. Somebody got cold water in the back.
There's a base hit to right field. And the Pirates with 2 on and 1 out. Prior to the game today, kids entered the ballpark. They received Pirates slippers. Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. Keep your toes warm in the coming months where the temperatures will be dipping. Kids 14 and under getting new footwear.
They look warm, don't they? Nice foamy things. Keep your toes warm this winter.
Get up ready to go to school and go downstairs to eat breakfast. Great to wear. Josh Harrison a swing and a miss. Harrison getting the start at third base today. Pedro Alvarez was out there last night. It'll be interesting to see how duties are split up the remainder of the season between Harrison and Alvarez.
Well, this time of year, you look at the standings, and there's not anything really there for the Pirates. So September is a time to try and plan for next season. Take a look at different guys and make some decisions. It's always with a grain of salt, though. September, you don't want it to fool you. In September and March are 2 months that it's very difficult sometimes to draw the correct conclusions. I think March is even tougher. Spring training, That can fool a lot of people. But even September, you can't look at a great September and think, okay, that's going to be carried over till next year. We got that taken care of. Doesn't always work that way.
Harrison pokes it to the right side. This could be two. Harrison beats it out. Ludwig forced at second base. And now runners at the corners with two down.
And take a look at the strike zone presented by Range Resources. That ball well outside of it, but Harrison goes after it, pokes it that direction. And then with his speed, he gets down there in plenty of time. And really a nice play by Vasquez. Watch the Harrison comfortable with that stepping on first, but watch the end of the play. Vasquez, now this is a pitcher. There's a runner coming around third, and he takes it right in the chest. He's going to save that run.
Ronnie Cedeno takes strike one. Cedeno hitting .260. Chase Darno had the start at short yesterday. Pirates with a threat here with runners on the corners and two down. 0-0 ball game, bottom of the second. Vasquez pitch. Cedeno fouls it off. 1-2 to Ronnie. Ronnie batting in the 8th spot. James McDonald on deck. In the 8th spot, you've got some things you want to do, especially in this situation. You try to drive in a run, obviously, but you want to get your pitcher to the plate so he doesn't have to lead off next inning. There goes Harrison, and Cedeno takes low and away, and now two men in scoring position.
Harrison using that speed of his. Vasquez doesn't have much of a leg kick. So he gets the ball home quickly, but because it was a breaking ball down and away, they decided not to really challenge it at all and make any kind of a play at second base.
Two balls, two strikes to Ronnie Cedeno. Vasquez wants time and wants his catcher Brett Hayes to come out and have a word.
Well, I don't think Vasquez is all wanting to throw a strike here. Maybe he wants to throw something, try and get a chase. He's got a base open now to work with after the steal, and he has a pitcher on deck. We'll see how. This right here, this is what makes hitting number 8 difficult at times. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Fastball well off the plate. And when you're hitting 8 and there's runners in scoring position, you're forced to expand your strike zone and try to knock the ball in by hitting a ball, because the pitcher's probably not going to give you a good strike to hit. If he does, he's making a mistake. So right there, that's what Cedeno must do. Even though that's ball 4, you got to go after it. You can't leave it up to the pitcher. Now, if it's ball 4, foot and a half outside, well, yeah, you can't swing at that. But if it's on the edges, you got to take a shot at knocking that run in. You don't want to pass the baton to a pitcher.
Here comes the payoff, and it's high, ball 4. So Vasquez looked up into the sky right after that pitch was delivered. A little bit disappointed in how that turned out for him. Fans, you can follow the Pirates with the MLB.com @BAT11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit Pirates.com for details.
I think what Vasquez was upset with himself was that was a breaking pitch. He threw it high out of the strike zone. He wanted to bounce that ball, or at least get it down out of the strike zone. Maybe he would have got a swing and a miss at it. Now, if he would have been throwing a fastball and he missed upstairs, then that would have been on purpose.
McDonald not afraid to swing the bat. Struggling with the average, 5 out of 52. Takes strike 2. 0-2 to J-Mac. Bases loaded here in the bottom of the second. 2 men out. Javier Vasquez, the stretch, and the 0-2 coming. Vasquez going to adjust his shoelaces or the top of his pants, one or the other. Long look in at Hayes. Now Vasquez ready. Here's the 1-2. Strike 3. The Bucks leave him loaded in the second. We'll move to inning number 3 at PNC Park. No score.
September 11th, 2001. And the Pirates are doing their best to do the same. In fact, if you were not with us during our pregame show, I want to show you the ceremonial first pitch. Mount Lebanon native Ben Kiernan, a Marine who was injured while serving in Afghanistan, threw out the first pitch. Should also tell you that over the last couple of days, volunteers have been accepting donations outside PNC Park for the Flight 93 Memorial, and a select number of complimentary tickets were made available to local police officers, firefighters, and paramedics. Guys, like I said, we shall not forget.
Thank you very much, Dan. We move to the top half of the third inning. No score, and the Marlins will send up the bottom part of the order. Brett Hayes, Javier Vasquez, then back to the top, and Emilio Bonifacio.
Well, Vasquez took a little bit of a chance there by loading the bases. Base hit by the pitcher would have been big, but J-Mac went down on strikes, and so Vasquez, with his strategy, came out on top. It's a dangerous game to be playing sometimes early in the second inning. They're going after that pitcher, but when it works out, and you look like a genius. Vasquez able to strike out J-Mac.
Hayes takes inside, 2 balls and a strike. Hayes, the catcher, rounds this one wide of third base for a foul ball. Hayes actually appeared in the outfield for the first time back on the 20th of July against the Padres. He had to play right field in the 9th inning of that game.
Must be able to run a little bit for a catcher, perhaps. Put him out in the outfield.
Up in the air to left and fairly deep. Going back is Presley to the track, and he's got it. Maybe flashbacks of 2 nights ago.
Yeah, gave him a nice hand, didn't they? Well, I guarantee you it's on his mind. He's thinking, okay, remember to squeeze this one. Oh, yep, got it.
And don't take your eye off it. Don't worry, Alex will protect you.
See if he smiles. No. Didn't even crack a smile.
So the fans ducking for cover. Ball wasn't quite over the wall. One out, and Vasquez takes a strike.
Yeah, and that's a good example too, I think, of why James McDonald really loves this ballpark. He gives up a lot of those type fly balls because he likes to work up in the strike zone. And when they're hit to left here, they turn out to be outs. You hit that fly ball at most other ballparks, at the Marlins ballpark, for instance, and it's well out. Very forgiving here at PNC Park, the left field.
And Vasquez down on strikes. Quickly 2 away.
Good curveball by, J-Mac. That one rolled right off the kitchen table.
First strikeout of the day for McDonald, his 133rd strikeout of the season. He leads the club in strikeouts. McDonald will now face the top of the order. Emilio Bonifacio got him to ground out to second in the first inning. Earlier in the year, he had a career best 26-game hitting streak. Snapped on the 29th of July. It was the longest single season hit streak by a Marlin since Luis Castillo had hits in 35 straight games, which is the Marlins franchise record. It was done in 2002. In the midst of another streak. He's 0 for 1 here today, but has a 12-game streak going. Continued that with an infield single in the 3rd of last night's game. 3-1 to Bonifacio. That's in for a strike. Count is full. There they are. They're all fired up. Payoff pitch. Did he get him? No, he didn't. Bonifacio will head down to first base with a 2-out walk.
But immediately asking for an appeal. He might get it.
Bonifacio is a tough guy to put on. He stole 2 in last night's game, has 36 stolen bases.
I always like those forceful appeals like that. The catcher comes up immediately, pointing, asking for the appeal. Because it's not the catcher that's actually asking for it. It's a plate umpire that has to do it.
Harrison handles the ground ball, throws to first, and safe at first.
And Lee came off the bag.
Is Infante.
Throw was a little bit wide. Well, he had to come off early to get it. A little bit of a double clutch to go get that baseball out of the glove. Didn't find it right away. You see Lee's foot well off the sack.
Brings up the right fielder Greg Dobbs, who flied to center field in the first inning. 0 for 1 for Dobbs today. J-Mac got Brett Hayes to fly to left, struck out Vasquez, has walked Bonifacio, who's at second. Infante reaching on the throwing error. And now Dobbs takes the ball low. Barrel Automotive league leaders stat. Michael Bourne leads everybody with 52. Matt Kemp and Drew Stubbs next, and there's Emilio Bonifacio 36 steals. Barrel Automotive, definitely worth the click at barrel.com.
Bonifacio, if he was out there by himself, you wouldn't really pay much attention to him. You let him steal third. Who cares? You can stay back on the grass.
Broken bat bouncer to Walker. That does it for the Marlins. No runs, no hits, 2 left and 1 error. After 2.5, still scoreless at PNC Park.
The general manager for a long time here in Pittsburgh, and nothing ever changed in that respect. I just didn't think that there was a need with Neil. I didn't think there was a need to get that done a year in advance, because Neil was going to make the right decisions for the Pittsburgh Pirates long term, whether he was working in the last year of his contract or he had 3 more years left. So there wasn't any urgency to it. There wasn't any one moment. I was confident he was the right person for the job, and nothing changed in that respect.
Pirates president Frank Coonley talking about the extension of the contract of general manager Neil Huntington prior to the game. Alex Presley leading off, and he takes a ball inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. So a 3-year contract extension for Neil, and the club will have an option for an additional year following that. One pitch. Just outside, 2-1.
Well, you certainly love to have stability in your organization. It's very important. And Neil has done a really fine job, especially rebuilding the foundation of this baseball team. And that's through your draft and getting the strength in your lower minor leagues. You have to start down there. You don't want to build a team on a foundation of sand. There has to be strength through the draft. You have to have depth. And if you look at what happened to the Marlins this year, with going into the season with really what they thought was a strong team to maybe at least get up there in second place, challenge the Braves for a wild card, they had no depth. They had injuries and they couldn't come through. But that's what you have to build. You have to have that depth through the minor leagues, and you have to be able to go after the very best amateur players available year after year after year. Neil certainly has accomplished that.
Well, Neil Huntington joining us here in the booth for a few moments. 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Neil Walker at the plate. Neil, congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Sorry I'm a little bit late here. I can blame it on Frank Coonley. We were talking about catching up on some things, and he actually seeing his picture on the screen reminded me that I was supposed to be up here.
Yeah, good reminder. Well, it's got to make you feel good that you can continue the mission that you began. And you're the type of guy that I don't think that really bothers you. You knew what your job was from day to day. You just continue to do it. Walker hammers this one deep to right, but that's going to be fouled.
You know, we did. We talk all the time about the process. Focus on the process, and the results will take care of themselves. Control what you can control. Those are two huge message points to us for our system, for our staff. And we had to walk the walk this year and had to work through that. And I firmly believe that I showed up every day and worked as hard as I could to do the job to the best of my ability and never once thought about working to keep the job. And if we did it well, we believe we'd be here not only for the next 3 years, but hopefully many, many years into the future.
We saw a glimpse this year. The ball club was in first place late July. And I know that's obviously the goal, is to get first place, get championships here. Where do you think you are on your long-term plan as Walker drives one toward the middle? Murphy cuts it off, makes a nice play. And there are now 2 down. But where do you think you are in the mission that you initially set out on?
Well, in these markets, you have to build from within. Your core pieces have to be players that you've either acquired very young or that you've drafted or that you've signed out of the international market. And then you supplement via free agency and you supplement via trades. 2 reasons to have prospects. One is to build directly on your major league club as they play for you. The second is to trade some prospects for major league pieces that can help you take that next step. We feel like we've built a nice foundation. We're always going to have to continue to aggressively invest in the amateur market internationally and in the draft. But we've got some pieces now at the major league level that we can build around. The core of our production, the core of that group that had us in first place into late July, are guys that are going to be here for years to come, and there's another wave coming behind that, and then this year's draft with Cole and Bell and everybody else in there. So we're getting there. We've got a lot of work to do. We understand that. We've got a challenge every single day. Once we get to that level that we're playing competitive and we're playing championship caliber baseball, we've got a bigger challenge to sustain that.
Isn't it all about pitching though right now? I thought this year really hammered that fact home, that we were where we were in July because of great pitching, and then we went into the tailspin because of not so great pitching. And it's always been a belief of mine, and I thought it was proved more than ever this season watching what happened, that it really is a strong pitching staff that has to be the priority.
You know, Bob, it's a great observation. Over the history of the game, typically it's been about pitching and as an extension, pitching and defense. For a little while there, the game got crazy, and it became about, could you just bash your opponent into submission? But the game is evolving back beyond that for whatever reason. The great young arms, the athletic defenders, the ballparks, the performance-enhancing drugs becoming less prominent, less prevalent in the game. And that's where part of our philosophy is the athletes. Part of our philosophy is building around our pitching. You can never have enough pitching. It's a game of attrition. We went however long with missing Ollendorf, but our 5 starters that picked up when Jeff went into the rotation, when Ross went out. We went months without having to worry about a 6th starter, and now all of a sudden we're at starter 7, starter 8, and starter 9 here into September. To your point, we can never have enough good arms. There's going to be some variety. You love guys with power. You love guys who strike people out. You love guys who can get ground balls. But there's going to be some mixing and matching along there, and then you need to fill out a bullpen.
Well, McCutchen flies out and ends the inning. Neil, thanks for joining us, and congratulations again. We'll see you around the water cooler.
Tim, Bob, thanks so much.
All right.
Visit your local Toyota dealer for details. And by AT&T. Let's go Bucks!
Welcome back to PNC Park. On with Dan Potash and Bob Walk, I'm Tim Neverett here on Move Sports. Top of the fourth inning, still scoreless. Pirates and the Marlins, the wrap-up of this three-game weekend set. Cardinals come in tomorrow night for the first of three. Pitch outside to Gabby Sanchez, first baseman. Good to visit with Neil, and you get to talk to him a little bit about the type of pitchers that he is looking and has brought into the organization. Power arms. Guys like Jamison Tyone and Garrett Cole over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, that's kind of what we didn't really have a lot of time to talk with him. The inning went by fairly quickly, but that really, I think, the importance that he places on pitching has been reflected, in some of our drafts, going after the big, strong power guys, and these are his words, that can pitch you into the eighth inning. Can go out there and go 120 pitches. Can throw 220 innings in a season. Those are the type of pitcher athletes that they have really been trying to focus in on in the amateur draft and build our minor leagues around. So that not only is it depth, but it's quality depth.
Brian Peterson, center fielder, had a base hit in the second inning. He's 1 for 1 today. Sanchez, the leadoff walk, is at first base. The 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike.
One of the things that I find impressive with James McDonald is the way he has maintained his arm strength and his health throughout this season. We have seen, that it's not easy to do. And he is actually, in my mind, pitching better now than he has earlier in the season. He's throwing a lot more strikes. He's being more efficient. But his pitches are as far as his stuff, the quality is still there. He's still throwing the ball 93, 94, 95 at times with his fastball. The good curveball, there it is again, is still there, snapping off the table. And that's what you like to see, those athletes that can go all day long for 6 months.
Peterson frozen with that curveball. That is strikeout number 2 today for J-Mac.
You got a good hook when you can freeze the lefties.
His knees just went into lock mode.
And those right-handers, that ball's kind of coming at them a little bit. It's a lot easier to get their attention with a good curveball than the lefty.
Another breaking ball in for a strike.
Nice. Take a look at it again. Right, it ends up right at the knees. Perfect pitch, outside corner. Well, if you could just bottle that one.
Donnie Murphy spent a lot of time on the disabled list this year. Problem with his wrist. Brought back the 5th of September from the 60-day DL. Been on the DL since May 5th. That one got him. So Murphy down to first. First and second now, 1 out. Gives us time to take a look at today's AT&T Mobility trivia question. Anibal Sanchez pitched his second complete game shutout of the season last night. Who holds the Marlins record for the most shutouts? Marlins record for the most shutouts.
Don't know that. In a season. You can take a guess. You wait too long, I'm going to guess first.
I'm thinking of, I Just off the top of my head, in '97, Livan Hernandez was very good, especially at the end of the year. Josh Beckett was very good while there.
There's a plethora of candidates.
Yeah. Third baseman Matt Dominguez with one out. Pops it up. And is back and out of play. The Marlins are 2 base runners without the benefit of a hit. Sanchez a leadoff walk, and Peterson struck out looking. Murphy hit by the pitch. He's at first. Dominguez batting with a runner in scoring position.
Well, I'm going to guess Kevin Brown.
That'd be a good guess too.
Thank you.
He had a no-hitter.
Yes, he did.
With the Marlins. Relatively speaking, the Marlins haven't been around very long, but they've done a lot of things.
Yes, they have.
A few no-hitters.
A couple of decades of existence. They've had a lot of great players. A couple of World Series champion teams. And a good curveball. Well, that hook is really working right now for J-Mac. Look at it, go straight and then bends right down, kind of like a J. Notice that?
Well, now that you mention it.
The J hook.
Two men out for the catcher, Brent Hayes.
Captain Hook, wasn't he a Pirate?
I would venture to guess yes. Is the Pope Catholic? I mean, Captain Hook, what would he be other than a pirate?
He might have been a crocodile hunter.
I don't know. 0-1 pitch. Swinging and a miss.
Oh.
Wow.
You think Domet might have been looking breaking ball?
I think so.
That's when you can't adjust. If you're looking fastball and you get a breaking ball, you got time. You're looking breaking ball and you get number one, you have no chance. You're going to wear that one, or the umpire is going to wear it. Somebody is. And he took it straight in the chest protector. See, Domet's moving to block that ball. See, moving to his outside to his knees. He's expecting that ball to bounce and maybe hit the dirt. And it goes straight in and center punches him right in the Nike logo.
Charged with a passed ball. And has allowed Sanchez to move down to third and Murphy over to second.
Oh, he was looking for the J hook and got the frozen rope.
Ground ball to third. And Harrison will throw out Hayes. And the Marlins will strand 2 more runners. Scoreless heading to the bottom of the 4th. Cross Blue Shield. Bucks will take on the Reds Friday, September 23rd, 7:05 start. It's Free Shirt Friday. All fans get a Pirates t-shirt courtesy of the International Union of Operating Engineers, local number 66. Come to Federal Street pregame. Enjoy live music and festivities during the Barrel Kia Block Party. For tickets, visit pirates.com/Free Shirt Friday. And it will be the final Free Shirt Friday of 2011.
I like that one too. For the last one, it's nice. It's simple. Nice classic design.
They've all been good.
A little stencil with a can of paint type look to it. I like it.
Every time they show us the new ones, our reaction's always the same. Oh, I like that one.
Yep.
And then they show us the next one. Oh, I like that one too. They've been very, very good this year. Fouled off into the dugout. And a 1-2 count to Derek Lee. Fly to right field in the second. One ball, 2 strike pitch. And Lee hits a number down toward third, and that'll roll foul. Question is, Bob, will we see Derek Lee in a Pirate uniform next year? I think that's certainly something that'll be addressed in the offseason, both by Derek, who recently turned 36.
It's kind of a
the Pirates have to make a decision on it also.
It's kind of a catch-22 type situation with him right now. You know, you want him to do very well to help us win ball games, but if he really takes off and has a great September, like he basically has, that's going to open up to some other people's eyes too. There'll be maybe some other suitors out there. Let's see what happens. I know the Pirates would love to have him full-time out at first base. They tried this last offseason to entice him to come to Pittsburgh. He chose Baltimore instead.
Yeah, swing and a miss, and he goes down on strikes. Well, we asked you the trivia question last inning. Our AT&T Mobility trivia question. Anibal Sanchez, second complete game shutout of the season last night, holds the Marlins season record for the most shutouts. Let's see who guessed who, Bob.
Well, how about that?
0 for 2.
Yeah.
A.J. Burnett and Dontrell Willis.
I forgot about Dontrell. He burst onto the scene in tremendous fashion. Oh, and 1 to Doman. Waited on the breaking ball and popped it up. Brett Hayes will grab it right by the screen. Two out for the Pirates in the fourth. Hanging breaking ball that Doman would love to have back. That's a pitch that you want to drive up the gap. He drove it straight up.
Ludwig had a base hit first time up. Takes a strike. Things don't get too easy for the Marlins this week, too. They leave here, go to Atlanta for 3. And they're expecting to have a day off on the 15th, but no longer. They have to make up not just 1 game, but 2. They have a doubleheader in Philadelphia. A day-night doubleheader. Make that up with the Phillies on the 15th, then right away travel to Washington for 3 with the Nationals.
No makeup games in Washington. They didn't have one of those Washington, D.C. sunouts.
No sunouts, no dryouts, no wet grounds. Pitch inside to Ludwig.
What happened to us this year in Washington? They called that game. We were still at the hotel. They called that game. Remember that?
All right. And check swing. Did he go? No.
Ended up being a gorgeous sunny day.
Yeah, we sat at the ball. We had to go to the ballpark because we had to wait for our plane to get there. Not to the park, but to the airport. We had to go somewhere, so we went to the park.
It was raining over the Azores, I think, and they decided that they better call it.
Ludwig down on strikes, and the Pirates gone in order in the fourth. More great pictures from the AGH camp.
Oh, I love that hat.
Especially a young man in the chapeau there.
What a great look that was.
Top of the fifth inning at PNC Park with Dan Potash and Bob Walk. Tim Everett with you on this Sunday afternoon. No score. Pitcher Javier Vasquez leading off. See, now he's got it on backwards.
As long as he keeps that smile he had.
2 balls, no strikes to Vasquez. J-Mac looking for a strike on his opposite number here. Falling behind, 3-1. He's walked. Let's go downstairs and check in with Dan Potash.
All right, Tim, thank you very much. Before today's game, the team from the Keystone Little League in Clinton County, PA, was honored for what they did in the Little League World Series. Remember, that was played just a couple weeks ago. They actually made it to the Final Four before they were eliminated. Clinton County, I think, is about 28 miles outside of Williamsport, PA, so fair to say that they had home field advantage, maybe, at least a little?
I think they set some attendance records, didn't they?
Yeah, I would say they probably did, but well done. Nice to see them at the ballpark.
I think they outdrew some minor league teams for an entire season. Yeah, they did a great job. And certainly were a big story. And don't think that the big guys weren't watching the little guys. Pirates were watching Little League World Series. The games were on in the clubhouse during the World Series, and they were rooting for the Pennsylvania team. That one's popped up, and nobody will be able to make a play on it. We've seen some guys come through here that have been in the Little League World Series. Lloyd McClendon comes to mind. Lastings Milledge also represented Bradenton, Florida in the Little League World Series. Our spring training home.
I remember we had some video of Lloyd. We always kidded him that he was the same size then as he was when he played in the big leagues.
Yeah. The guy we'll see next week in Arizona, Sean Burrows, who I think is the same size he was when he was 12, who was a dominant pitcher for the California team.
The video we saw of Lloyd playing, he was a monster.
Pitcher Jason Marquis, who we've seen throw against the Pirates this year, also participated growing up in the New York region. 2-0-2 pitch, and Bonifacio slaps this one foul and out of play. Those kids, especially the Keystone kids, they'll have those memories forever. What a thrill it has to be to take part. Right at Cedeno. No play at first base, but there's one gone.
You know, Vasquez is a pitcher. He did a nice job on that one.
Pirate fans, we want to hear your questions about the game today. Text the keyword booth followed by your question and name to 412-412. We'll ask your question to Bob a little later on in the game. Remember, message and data rates may apply. 412-412. It's time to text the booth. See, he's making an old-fashioned phone call. Oh, down goes Infante.
Maybe a slight overreaction. I don't know if he actually had to go into the dirt. Maybe just kind of a lean back would have been sufficient. That was more of a lean back, not a drop to the ground.
It was a lean back instead of a brush back. Wasn't that close? Anyway, 2-0 on Infante, who had a base hit his first time up. He reached on an error in the third inning, throwing error by Josh Harrison. Missed again. McDonald has had good success here at PNC Park. 9-2 overall. 5-1 here this season. One out, one on, the 3-0. Right there for a strike.
Taken all the way.
Javier Vasquez, the leadoff walk. Third man walked by J-Mac, although he has issued 4 free passes. The other one hit by a pitch. That was Donnie Murphy. Fills up the count at 3-2.
Nice play down the line.
Infante and Bonifacio lead the Marlins club with 41 extra base hits. They're tied in that category. Or multiple hit games, I should say. Beg your pardon. Multi-hit games. Popped up to center. And McCutcheon take care of it for out number 2.
A nice recovery by McDonald coming back from 3-0 count to get the out.
Our injury update brought to you by Allegheny General Hospital Sports Medicine. Mike Cameron, the veteran, left Tuesday's game with a tight right hamstring, and he's missed the last 3 straight games. His status day to day. Tuesday against the Mets. Came out of that one, so Mike Cameron not able to go. The hamstring's been almost epidemic with the Marlins ball club. Cameron's got one. Mike Stanton, Jose Lopez. They are no fun.
You know what's good for a hamstring? Mustard. Always put mustard on it.
Mustard on
mustard,
it?
Yeah.
Is that right? I never heard that.
Oh, my grandmother used to put mustard all over the hand. So it's got to be good for a hamstring, right? No. Same family.
No, it isn't. I thought you were giving me some old, wives' tale, some kind of.
No, but
if I had
family
therapy.
If I had a pulled hamstring, I think I'd try that. It wouldn't hurt it any.
No, you try anything.
It
heal those things.
It would do just as good as a rope around your neck with a piece of metal stuck in it.
Runner takes off. Big jump, and this one hit down to the right field corner. Running after it is Ludwig, and this is going to get a run home. Vasquez scores. It's 1-0. Greg Dobbs put it down off the scoreboard in right field. And Vasquez, who had a big jump on the pitch,
huge jump,
scores from first.
He was about a third of the way to second base by the time that pitch went home. He was trying to steal second base. I mean, look how far he was when that ball was hit by the bat. So there was absolutely no chance of making any kind of play at the plate. The best chance of keeping him from scoring was to throw Dobbs out at second base before he got home. Before Vasquez got home.
Ray Searage will come out and have a word. I know it's hard to look.
No, it's just one run. It's all right. So just one run.
It's okay.
Still plenty of time left. Fifth inning.
Ray Searage with the message delivered to James McDonald. Listen up, West Virginia football fans. You can catch Mountaineer games, Coach Dana Holgerson's weekly press conference, insider shows, and more with Wild and Wonderful Sports on Root Sports. Check out rootsports.com for all the details. West Virginia had another win yesterday in football.
Let's go, Buccos! Come on, baby, let's go. Pull this one out. Let's go.
He comes dressed for the occasion. You have a skull cap like that?
No, I don't own one.
I heard it's good for the hamstring.
I don't own one. Could be. Won't hurt.
Won't hurt to try it.
No.
1-0 to Gabby Sanchez. Ropes it to left field. This will get another run in as Dobbs rounds third and scores, and both runs coming with 2 outs. Sanchez an RBI single.
Things were looking good this inning when he got Infante out after going 3-0, but back-to-back hits, one of them a double, cost a couple of runs.
'73rd run batted in for Gabby Sanchez.
Still no reason to hit any kind of a panic button, but turn it off right now.
As far as the Pirate bats are concerned, somebody's going to turn the on switch on. Just one hit again so far today. Or one hit last night.
And we've got 2 hits in the last 13 innings. It's not good, but you can't think like that when you're out there on the mound, you know, earlier in a ball game anyway. You have to have faith that they're going to break through. They're going to put some numbers up on the board for you. But once you get later into a game, then you have to start thinking about, okay, that's it, no more. And that's probably where McDonald is now. He's given up 2. So that's it. He's got to put up zeros the rest of the time he's out there. The bullpen looks like they're moving around now.
Brian Peterson takes ball 3.
Well, what has happened this inning is there's no secret about it. James just is not throwing enough strikes. How many 3-ball counts has this been?
Too many. And now the 3-0. Gets a strike in on him. 3-1. All the action coming with 2 outs. You got Bonifacio after the walk to Vasquez. Bonifacio lined out. Infante flied out. Watson and Hughes warming up quickly. 3-1. Runner goes, and that is ball 4. Second walk issued in the inning. 4th in the game. for McDonald.
Look at that. Ray Searage stresses first pitch strikes. That number is starting to get way out of whack. 8 of 23. And Ray is not going to like that when he starts looking over his notes after the game. He sees that number.
Shortstop Donnie Murphy was hit by a pitch last time up. He's also flying to left, 0 for 1. 2 on and 2 out for the Marlins. Batting in the top half of the 5th inning, 2 runs in. And very close, but just a bit inside, apparently. And this one toward the gap and deep. And this one is going to go off the wall. Coming around to score is Sanchez. Right behind him, Peterson. A 2-out, 2-run double by Murphy. It is 4-0 Marlins.
Yeah, that is going to be the hit, I'll bet you, that gets James out of this one. In fact, as he was walking back to the mound right now, I signed Lance over his shoulder at the dugout. Ball's up and away, and it went up and away. Head off Chuck Canner's number 7.
And Clint Hurdle jumping out of the dugout once the batter Dominguez was announced. And walked sternly out to the hill, got the ball, and J-Mac is done for the afternoon. 4 runs in, all with 2 outs. Here comes rookie Jared Hughes. Miller Band live in concert after the Bucks battle the Reds Saturday, September 24th at 7:05. They'll be playing their big hits, including the Joker, Take the Money and Run, and many, many more. For your tickets to Fan Jam, visit Pirates.com. Big old jet airliner. Fly like an eagle. They're excited about the Pirates. All the way down to the earrings. Pirates need to get some excitement in their offense here. They've still been stuck with just 1 hit.
We've got to get 5 runs now, even if we can stop the bleeding at this point and let nothing more happen.
6'7" Jared Hughes making his 3rd major league appearance, and he has done just a fine job in his first 2. 2 2/3 innings of scoreless relief.
And this again is what September baseball is all about sometimes, just getting a look at these young guys, see what they do up at the big league level, how they react, how major league hitters react to their stuff, or how a young hitter is going to react to a major league pitcher. Is there any intimidation going on? Do they act like they did in the minor leagues? Do they not change?
Missed a spot.
I never really got into that filing of the nail stuff. No? I'm more of a clipper guy. I just kind of give him a clip, move on.
Knuckleballers like the nails, though. Dig into the baseball.
For a knuckleball guy, it's very, because you're not, knuckles has nothing to do with it. You're throwing the ball with your fingertips. So it's really important for a knuckleball pitcher to have his pedicure. Is that what it is? Pedicure? That's right. That's it. Oh, pedicure is feet. Manicure. Yeah. I knew pedicure was something.
See, manicure is okay because the first 3 letters spell man.
The pedicure is for like soccer players.
If you say so.
Well, yeah, they got to use their feet. You just watch soccer. I know that.
Yeah. Kickball, I've seen it.
Yeah.
And Dominguez down on strikes, so Hughes comes in, gets the strikeout, but 4 runs in, all with 2 outs. 4-0 Fish. Remember our heroes on that 9/11 day. Our hearts are so full today and always. Today, a day of reflection. And Josh Harrison, the leadoff hitter for the Pirates here in the bottom of the 5th.
Certainly it does bring back a lot of memories 10 years ago.
Swinging bunt. Harrison's out.
I can remember, obviously the planes weren't allowed to fly, and the Pirate team getting on a couple of buses to take a bus ride to Chicago to play the Cubs. And then turning around and coming back. The games had been postponed, obviously. It was a very eerie experience.
One 0 to Cedeno. Strike on the inside corner. It was It was odd in terms of the travel. You talked about it. For a few days it was shut down. And then I think as a country, as someone who travels, every time you'd see another plane, you start to look. I remember going to a college football game the week after down at Tucson, University of Arizona, and the amount of security that you go through then. And this was flying on a charter plane, private plane. And then a couple of weeks later, I was at the Air Force Academy, which is military installation, and the security to get there was very much heightened. Cedeno up in the air to right field. And Dobbs waits for it. 2 outs.
Just can't seem to put anything together. I guess it's not even that the hits are scattered and they're not putting them together. They're just not getting any hits, period.
Pirates had 13 hits on Friday night in game 1 of this series. Problem there was that Florida had 22. And they lost 13-4. But the last time they've had more than 1 hit in an inning was the 8th inning on Friday. Neil Walker had the lone hit yesterday. It was a double in the 2nd inning. And today the only hit belongs to Ryan Ludwig. That also was in the 2nd inning. With the hit, he is 1 for 2. Jared Hughes, incidentally, his 3rd straight scoreless outing. 1/3 of an inning, got the 1 strikeout. Jason Jaramillo, who drove in the winning run on Wednesday against Houston with a 1-ball 2-strike count. Pulls this one inside the line, fair. Takes a good bounce out to Dobbs, and that'll hold Jaramillo to a single. A fortuitous bounce out to the Marlins right fielder.
It can be tough to get an extra base hit to right field here. It's not very deep out there, so you get the ball coming off the wall. Sometimes you can't get to second base, and because it's not very deep, the outfielder can play shallow, and so these rebounds off that corner come right to him, which turns this bullet inside the bag also into a single. Nothing Jaramillo could do about it whatsoever. No chance to get to second base.
Strike 1 to Alex Presley as the Pirates are back to the top of the order.
Glancing out at that scoreboard, Tim, I see that St. Louis is up 5-0 on Atlanta. Are the Cardinals going to try and make it a race in this division?
They are. They are doing just that. They start the day 6 behind Milwaukee, who's lost 5. Milwaukee a 1-0 lead over Philadelphia in the 4th inning right now, but St. Louis
5-0, huh?
trying to make a run here late.
Maybe too little too late, but still going at it hard, obviously.
I believe they're out by 5.5 in the wild card. Cardinals will be here tomorrow night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday afternoon. Kyle Loesch expected to start tomorrow against Brad Lincoln. There you see it, 5.5 behind Atlanta in the wild card. They're 3 up on San Francisco in that category. 6 behind the division leaders, the Brewers. And Presley goes down on strikes. No runs to hit, 1 man left. We're through 5. It's a 4-0 Marlins lead.
4-0 lead over Pittsburgh as we head to the 6th. Of course, we continue to remember September 11th, 2001. Earlier, I asked Andrew McCutchen about that terrible day.
Hate thinking about it, but I was in high school, 10th grade, and I had one of my teachers turn on the TV. He had already knew about it. You know, he was beyond upset, beyond mad. You know, I hadn't figured out what happened until I continued to look at what was going on, and finally figured it out. You know, it really didn't seem real. It really didn't seem real at all. So, you know, it's definitely a sad day, and just something to relive those moments every time around this year.
Guys, of course, 10 years ago today, and in fact, I spoke to several members of the Pirates, McCutchen, Neil Walker, Josh Harrison, and again, 10 years ago, they were all in high school at that time. You look at them as young Pirates now, but they were obviously much younger back then.
Yeah, I mean, high school, Paul Maholm was a sophomore in college. Chris Snyder was in college at the time. Jason Jaramillo behind the plate now, stays in after hitting in the 9 spot. So Watson, as part of the double switch, will take over Domit's spot in the batting order. Number 5. Pitch to Brett Hayes. Strike called, 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike to Hayes. Hayes 0 for 2. Swinging strike that time. We go back to Wednesday when Watson got his second win, that 5-4 Pirate win over the Astros. Joel Hanrahan had the save in that game. Both Iowans, 2 guys from Iowa, combining for a win and a save in that game. Hayes ends up with a free pass. Leadoff walk. That's how last inning began, with a leadoff walk to Javier Vasquez. He came around to score. So cutting down on the walks. Too many walks here late in the season.
And that's really a story with Watson also. He's pitched very, very well in his first year up here at this level when he has thrown the ball over the plate. He has had a couple of times out there when that's been tough for him. But I think he's been impressive when he's throwing strikes, which has been most of the time. What I like about Watson also,
Vasquez bunts it to Derek Lee.
a lot of young left-handers, they come up, bullpen guys especially, and they have to live off their breaking ball. They really can't go after the hitters with the fastball. Watson not only can do that, that's his style. He loves to throw the fastball.
Tony Watson now will face Emilio Bonifacio. Switch hitter will turn around, bat right-handed against the lefty. Bonifacio 0 for 2 with a walk.
I believe this is his, when you look at his numbers, this is a strong side.
Swing and a miss. From the right side, he has 308. Left side 290.
Just 308 against lefties.
Batting right-handed. 308.
My sheet says 322.
This one to right field, and Ludwig makes the catch.
Nice play going into the gap, take away that hit. Ludwig plays a solid defense out in the outfield for not being a speed type guy. Fundamentally sound. That's one of the things that Tony La Russa mentioned. Very good defensive outfielder. Like when he was a Cardinal.
Fonte 1 for 3. You were saying your sheet's at 322 against lefties. The main stat sheet says 308 against right-handed. Batting right-handed. So he must have batted right-handed against some righties. He must have turned himself around a couple of times. Didn't fare so well. Fonte will take strike 2. He spent a little time on the disabled list. Came off on the 20th of August. But has been fairly healthy all year. September 3rd, he tied a career high against Philadelphia with 8 infield assists. May 2nd, he set that mark at St. Louis. Popped it up. Jason Jaramillo makes the catch for the out. And the Marlins are done in the top half of the 6th inning. They still lead the Bucks 4-0. Walker, McCutchen, and Lee due up. Left the ball game after this in the 4th inning. Took a 93-mile-an-hour fastball on the chest, and that has been bothering him. So that is part of the reason he left the ball game, and Jason Jaramillo was in.
Yeah, that one didn't. No foul tip, nothing. Didn't get slowed down. He like right in the sternum.
The chest protector offers you some protection, but it's not like it's a suit of armor. Still going to feel it. Walker is 0 for 2, a pair of groundouts. Takes outside for ball 1 from Javier Vasquez. Vasquez at 9 and 11 for the Marlins. If he comes away with a win today, it would make 12 straight seasons with double-digit wins for Vasquez. And Walker up in the air to center field. Waiting for it is Brian Peterson. There's one out for the Pirates in the 6th inning. Sunday, September 25th, the Pirates will host the Reds at 1:35. It's Kids Day. All kids 14 and under get a growth chart featuring Andrew McCutchen, courtesy of Hochstetter Printing. Come early for the #1 Cochrane Kids Fun Zone on Federal Street and stay after the game. Kids get to run the bases thanks to H.K. Anderson Pretzels. Get tickets at Pirates.com today. It is also the final home game of 2011. Pirates and the Reds on the 25th. And the Bucks have 3 more on the road against Milwaukee. And the way that St. Louis has been playing, Bob, those games may have an impact on who wins the division.
Well, if they win today, and if Milwaukee loses to Philadelphia, it's that much closer. You know, the Cardinals, they're going to come in thinking, well, they've been in a situation where they got to win every game. They've been in that situation for a couple of weeks.
How fun would that be to be able to go to Milwaukee and play spoiler?
I'm sorry. I was thinking we're talking about the St. Louis series. Yeah, you're talking about the Milwaukee series. Yeah, we thought there's strike 3. We thought that was going to be a nothing series, and it could be very important.
Nissan Road ahead tomorrow and Tuesday night, 6:30 coverage begins here on Root Sports. Wednesday, it's a matinee, noon start, 12:35 first pitch. Then out west at Dodger Stadium, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. Derek Lee hits one to center field and a base hit. So Lee has now hit safely in 11 of his 13 games with the Pirates. 2-out single. Here's Pedro Alvarez. He'll pinch hit in what is now the pitcher's spot, 5th in the order. Well, obviously the 3 games with the Cardinals are big for the Cardinals.
Yeah, there are going to be huge games for the Cardinals.
And if they continue to play extremely well and can be in striking distance of Milwaukee, say within 2.5 games, and Pirates finish up at Milwaukee, it'd be fun for the Pirates to go in there and play those meaningful games, the last 3 of the season. Vasquez facing Alvarez.
It sure didn't look like it was going to be much of a race a couple weeks ago, but the Cardinals have hung in there, and it's getting a little bit more interesting.
Still a 1-0 Milwaukee lead in Philadelphia midway through the ball game, and the Cardinals leading Atlanta 5-0. Bottom of the 5th. Alvarez 0-2. Here comes the 0-2, and that is inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Pedro certainly has the ability to cut this deficit in half with 1 swing, and that's what we need right now. We need a quick strike.
Pedro's 1 for 8 with a triple since being recalled on the 6th. His 2nd big league triple, first this year. His first big league triple came on the 15th of September last year in New York against the Mets. Two ball, 2 strike pitch. Pedro flies it out of play. Count will stay 2-2. There's been some talk about Pedro playing winter baseball. Chase Darno is going to go. Clint Hurdle was talking about that earlier today. The one thing they looked at with Pedro mechanically is keep an eye on his front foot. Have him utilizing a bit of a toe tap. Alvarez has had success at every level he's been at, and this year really the first time he has struggled. Jason Grilli in the bullpen. Full count. Derek Lee will get a chance to run. Burt Badenhop and Mike Dunn. Badenhop the right-hander and Dunn the lefty.
Vasquez thrown well over 100 pitches already.
111. This is 112, and Alvarez swings and foul tips it into the glove of the catcher, Brett Hayes, and strikes out. See the formula there. It's used to compare a pitcher's ERA to the league in which he pitched, where 100 is the league average. And like ERA, lower numbers are better, and so an ERA minus of 87, like Jeff Karstens would have, means that he allowed runs at 87% of the league average, or 13% less runs per inning than an average National League pitcher. Johnny Cueto, Roy Halladay, Clayton Kershaw, the leaders in the National League. Pirates leaders, Karstens, Mahalam, and Charlie Morton. Statistics courtesy of Fangraphs.com.
Beckett, Verlander. Pretty good numbers, huh?
Yes, sir. A lot of work into that sign, that young man. Well, you weren't unrewarded. You got on TV with it. Hey, back at you. And there's Kids Sunday.
Braids and one of those ropes.
Well, we go to Milwaukee. Everybody looks like that. They get the big blonde braids. And some people wear them for fun, and some people actually have them. Jason Grilli pitching in the top of the 7th inning of a 4-0 ball game. 0-1 to the right fielder, Greg Dobbs. Dobbs doubled in the first run in the 5th. Hughes and Watson so far scoreless out of the bullpen. Now Grilli, the 3rd pitcher used out of the pen, backing up James McDonald, who went 4 2/3 today.
So far, so good for Hughes, really. Like what we've seen.
AAA staff really went to bat for him, so to speak, and pushed to get him brought up, get him a chance. He began the year in AA, went through AAA, did well, and now getting a chance at the major league level.
Yeah, I think for sure you got to rely on those guys too. I mean, they're the ones that see them day in and day out. If anyone knows the players, it's the coaches, manager at AAA. You have to rely on their judgment more heavily than anything else.
Well, More crowded down there in the dugout with the AAA staff on hand. Tom Fowler, the pitching coach, and Dean Traynor, the manager, former pitching coach. Jeff Branson, a hitting coach. On this road trip, Branson will be heading back home to Arizona, but Dean Traynor will be on the trip. And that just missed off the edge. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Greg Dobbs, leading off in the top of the 7th inning. Four runs on 5 hits for the Marlins, no runs on 3 hits for the Pirates. To center field, right there is Andrew McCutchen. Inside Pirates Baseball is highlighting the 10 greatest Pirates pitching performances. See where your favorite ranks. Then join conversation on Facebook.com/RootSportsPit tonight at 9 on Root Sports. 10 greatest pitching performances. I would have to think Harvey Haddock's was up there.
Could be. An excellent guess.
Got a guess for another one that might be in that show?
I got to think Steve might be in there once or twice.
1971. Strike to Sanchez. Sanchez an RBI single in the 5th.
Candelaria's no hitter probably in there.
To watch it tonight, find out the rest. Broken bat looper to Josh Harrison. 2 men gone in the 7th inning. Brings up the center fielder Brian Peterson. Peterson with a single in the 2nd inning. Struck out looking in the 4th. Got locked up by a J-Mac curveball. And then walked and scored in the 4-run 5th. He is 3 for 9 in this series. Peterson on the 16th of August at Colorado became the first Marlin to hit 2 triples in a game since Logan Morrison did it almost a year earlier. And the 3rd ever. Jesus Tavares did it in '95. Just 3 Marlins in franchise history with 2 triples in a game.
He's always played in a pretty good triples ballpark, but that's going to come to an end. They get a baseball stadium starting next year. They get to move out of the football stadium, which they've called their home since their very first season.
No more rainouts, no more rain delays. They will be welcoming that in South Florida. No more batting practice canceled because of afternoon showers. To second base, there's Walker. Jason Grilli rolls a 1-2-3, top half of the 7th inning. And on this Sunday afternoon at PNC Park,
Fans, it's time for
we're going to take you out to the ball game.
We invite you now to stand, follow the bouncing Eaton Park Smiley Cookie, and join everyone watching at home on Root Sports as we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
So Steve Blass still throwing strikes. 4-0 Marlins heading to the bottom of the 7th. Remembering September 11th, the 10-year anniversary of the events that morning in 2001. A lot of folks remembering the first responders today, of course, victims and all the affected families. Ryan Ludwig fouls the first pitch off. Words of Todd Beamer. Let's roll. Volunteers over the last few days have been taking donations outside the ballpark to help in the construction of the Flight 93 Memorial in Shanksville. Ludwig flies out. 1 out of the Pirate half of the 7th. Clay Hensley has taken over for Javier Vasquez. Vasquez went 6.
It wasn't because he wasn't effective, but Vasquez just threw too many pitches.
So Hensley, the former Padre.
ERA up there quite a ways at 5.25. What was ERA minus is?
That's a good guess. A good question. Don't have a guess. I didn't bring the chalkboard to do the formula. I have to take the earned runs times 9 divided by innings pitched.
It's okay. It was a
times the
rhetorical question.
Regular ERA parentheses times 100. Some of these sabermetric formulas I look at, I'm just scared of them. Harrison to the gap in right center. Almost took a weird hop past Peterson, but he's held to a long single.
I had a lot of side spin on it. That's why it sliced so hard. So when it hits the grass, it's got some bite to it and kick back the other direction. Kind of like you'll see a pitcher's curveball do when it hits the dirt. Now it's slicing away. Well, this will be a good view of that slice. Look at the ball moving to the right, and then it kicks back the other direction. Harrison, he's watching that ball move just like we are, thinking, well, if that gets through the gap, I got 2. And so he's hustling hard.
Pirates with a base runner in the 7th, 1 out. Ronnie Cedeno. 1 ball and no strikes. Pirates shortstop today walked in the 2nd inning and flied to right in the 5th, 0 for 1. All 4 Marlins runs coming in the top half of the 5th inning. Pitch up high, 2 balls, 1 strike to Ronnie. Ronnie seems to be part of a shortstop rotation these days. Pedro Siriaco has had a start. He may get another. Cedeno, kind of a weak swing there, 2-2. See Chase Darno getting a few starts.
It'd be nice to see Siriaco play a little bit more. We haven't had a chance. He's been with the team a bunch this year, but just hasn't played much at all. Before his start the other day, he had just 13 at bats. Siriaco.
Pedro spent a bunch of time in the airport this year. Coming back and forth. There goes Harrison, and a ground ball to short. So keep the Pirates out of the double play, but Cedeno is out.
Another tough day at the office for our hitters as Vasquez came in and pitched extremely well. Threw a lot of pitches, though, and got a lot of strikeouts. That's one of the tough things to do when you're getting a lot of strikeouts, is to keep your pitch count down, and he wasn't able to do that. So even though he pitched very well, 113 pitches through 6 innings, he gone.
Jason Jaramillo base it up the middle. Here comes Harrison around third, and the Pirates are on the board. It's 4-1.
Got to start somewhere. Even a 1 run right now looks pretty big. Jaramillo coming through with a 2-out RBI. He smoked that ball back through the middle. That was not any kind of a seeing eye job. Nice line drive right back over the top of the rubber. Harrison just continues to be impressive. He's in the middle of everything all the time.
Clay Hensley exits the game, and we've got a pitching change.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Levin Furniture, featuring handcrafted Amish furniture. Let's go Bucks!
Pirates get on the board. An RBI single by Jason Jaramillo, scoring Josh Harrison with 2 outs. 4-1 Marlins. And Florida forced to go back to their bullpen. A single by Jaramillo, his second of the game, by the way. Chases Hensley in favor of left-hander Mike Dunn.
Mike Dunn's only given up 45 hits in 60 innings of work, but he does have 31 walks, so don't do him any favors. Make sure he's throwing strikes, especially when you're down by 3.
Alex Presley without a hit. He struck out twice and flied to left. Having a series that he has been accustomed to, just 2 for 12. Pirates within striking distance, 3 runs back. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. And the hits are even, 5 apiece. One one. 2 balls and a strike. Presley's become known for his multi-hit efforts. He has 15 multi-hit games. None today, but gives you an idea of what he's been doing in his time in Pittsburgh. The strike is called up in the zone. 2-2 to Presley. Presley in the air to center field. Peterson going back. Still drifting, making the catch. Pirates get 1 on 2 hits and leave a man. We'll go to the 8th, 4-1 Florida.
Years young, 80 years young as a manager of the Florida Marlins. But you know what? Connie Mack has him beat. That's right, the oldest man to ever manage a Major League Baseball team. Connie Mack with the Philadelphia Athletics in 1950 at 87 years of age. Look at some of the other major sports. I should note, though, that Al Arbor was 75 years young back in 2007 when he came back for one game to be behind the Islanders bench against the Penguins in Long Island. And, you know, these guys are, it's just a number, right? Right, Steve Lass? It's just a number. I mean, it's nothing more than that.
Steve said that he always hated pitching against a Connie Mack team. They were always very well prepared.
He just looked at the monitor. He knows exactly what you're talking about, Bob.
Jack McKeon may be the oldest manager ever in uniform, because Connie Mack didn't wear a uniform. Remember that? He wore a suit when he managed. Suit and tie. Sometimes, occasionally, he'd wear a Hawaiian shirt, but usually a suit and tie.
Evan Meek getting his second opportunity this homestand. He was pretty pleased after his first outing. Did give up a hit, but no runs. And smiles from Evan Meek to be able to get back out there on the mound after such a long rehab stint for him. Spent a lot of time in Florida. Murphy goes to right field. Plenty of room for Ludwig. Evan got a win on the 31st of May at New York and suffered his loss on the 2nd of April. It was his second outing of the season at Wrigley Field. 6 appearances with the Pirates before returning to the disabled list on the 10th of June.
It's certainly going to be a season that he's not going to want to dwell on. He'll want to forget about as quickly as possible. Try to get his self prepared for next year. Good throwing shape. Get this one behind him.
Meek's first stint on the DL was late April through late May. Missed almost a month with tendonitis. Two balls, one strike to count to the third baseman Matt Dominguez, who is 0 for 3. Struck out twice and popped out foul to the catcher Ryan Doumit back in the 2nd inning. Meek's pitch is up high, a fastball. Just missed. So a 1-out walk is issued to Dominguez.
I don't think Evan Meek is in agreement with the strike zone. A couple of pitches there, he kind of stared back in for a moment.
There have been some borderline pitches that have gone either way. Gone one way, one inning, one way another. Brett Hayes 0 for 2. He's making his 27th start for the Marlins. Actually hit a grand slam this year on the 5th of June against Milwaukee. Set a new career high with one swing of the bat. Got 4 runs batted in.
Runs like Hayes, hits like Mays.
And he's not Willie Mays Hayes. By the way, speaking of Milwaukee, they now trail Philadelphia 2-1 in the 6th. Sounded like he broke his bat.
That will go in the firewood pile.
2 outs now in the 8th inning.
Good firewood too. Good, nice hard maple, most likely. Getting close to that time, I have to start thinking about firewood. Fall's coming.
Oh, I've been thinking about it. Trying to pick up the storm damage from the summer, the trees that have fallen over. Got a date circled after the season when I'm going to have a nice day with the chainsaw.
Got a lot of trees down there.
A few of them.
Well, you know, you have to season that wood a little bit after you split it. You can't just burn it right away.
Oh, no.
Oh, dry it out a little bit.
It'll sit around for a while. Here's John Baker. Baker takes ball 1. Baker, backup catcher. Rolled her down to first base, and Derek Lee will just wait for him. That's the inning. So Nate walks 1. The Marlins leave 1. At the end of 7.5, it's 4-1. Marlins. Check the other scores from out of town. Brought to you by the Meadows Racetrack and Casino. Nats on top of the Astros 8-1. And the Phillies 2. Brewers 1 in the 6th. Cards on top of the Braves. St. Louis looking to pick up another game on Milwaukee. Rockies and Reds no score in Denver. Cubs and Mets tonight. Dodgers and Giants also coming up a little bit later on. Diamondbacks hosting the Padres. American League. The Tigers have won 9 straight games now. Blue Jays winning. Rays winning in St. Petersburg. Indians on top. Neil Walker will lead off. Bottom of the 8th inning. A's and Rangers scoreless. And the Angels leading the Yankees. Royals and Mariners still to come. And Neil's got a base hit. Single for Walker to lead off the 8th inning. The American League wild card standings. Tampa Bay has a chance to get to 3.5 with a win over Boston today.
Yeah, that was another race a couple weeks ago you'd look at and say, oh, that's done with. But they're sneaking back. The same thing that's happening here with the Cardinals. Trying to sneak back. They're still up 6-2.
Edward Mujica is the new pitcher, taking over for the lefty Mike Dunn. McCutchen finds himself in a hole 0-2. And that AL East race. Boston has a better hold on the division. They trail New York by just 2.5, and they're farther out in the wild card. Tampa Bay 7 out in the division, 4.5 in the wild card. Looks like they'll trim it to 3 if they hang on to this lead. 3.5. And McCutchen down on strikes, and for Andrew McCutchen, 2 strikeouts here today. He had 2 in last night's game. You see, those are the AL East standings there.
I'd hate to see Boston not make the playoffs.
So would the networks. Pitch inside to Derek Lee for ball 1. We had some Boston fan yelling at me via email back in June. Ground ball backhanded. Dominguez to second, around the horn, double play. Tip of the cap to the Marlins there for a well executed 5-4-3. We're on to the 9th. At the ballpark today, and somewhere under the wing is Lacey.
Parrot having a lot of fun. You know, they're down there in the Lexus Club, aren't they?
Yeah. I like the Pirates and I like the Parrot. A lot of youngsters on this Kids Day Sunday having a blast at the ballpark.
Peanuts at the bag at the other team.
That's right. I thought he was going to say it the Parrot, but no, the other team. So peanuts at the other team.
Makes up his own rules. Top of the order for the Marlins in the 9th, facing Joel Hanrahan.
A couple of things that really stands out about the crowds here this year is how much fun the fans are at dressing up, you know, as Pirates and things. And the second thing is how many kids we've had here at the ballpark all summer.
Lots of kids, not just the kids too, but the young adults. You know, kids 17 to 20. Seen a lot of that generation here.
Well, especially on those Friday nights, getting those T-shirts.
Yeah.
The
College Cove nights.
They love those.
Ice cream looks good. Bonifacio right back into the glove of Hanrahan. One down. I'm going to have to find out when the start date of that beard was. I don't think he's shaved that in a long time.
Just looking at it, I think you're right. It's getting nice and long.
Got the Rip Van Winkle starter kit going.
We've seen a lot of that this year. A lot of pirate costumes.
And hangs up off the bat of Infante, and there are 2 out in the 9th.
Go Pirates!
A hair-raising day here at the ballpark.
Yes, indeed.
So neat having the camera that roams the ballpark. New addition this season from Root Sports, and it really takes you around the yard, places you never get to see. To see how much fans enjoy coming to this place.
They're already lining up out on the river walk. Those are all the kids that get to go on the field and run the bases when the game's over.
Dobbs fouls this one off.
They're all forming up.
Dobbs 1 for 4 today, and his big hit came in the 5th. 2-base hit. His 23rd double of the season. Dobbs started game 1 Friday night at third base. Starting today in right field. 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hanrahan getting some work in. Pirates trailing 4-1. They'll have their final at bat. Chance to get 3 runs to tie and 4 to win it. Strike 3 call. And Hanrahan a clean top of the 9th. Last wraps for the Bucks, trailing by 3 runs. 6 hits for the Pirates. Enjoying the game in full uniform.
Go Mark!
Got one of those.
Yes, you do. I know you did.
Just in case.
Well, you had to wear it the other day because your eye was. You had to have the eye operation.
Yeah. I guess the slippers can be used as gloves.
Glove day, yes. Those are sliding gloves. Wear those when you head first slide.
That's right. So Xavier Paul is going to pinch hit. Paul facing Leo Nunez. Nunez was up last night, didn't get in the game, and Paul hits one to center field, but over there again it is Peterson. One down in the bottom of the 9th inning. Brings Ryan Ludwig back up with Josh Harrison to follow. Pirates down to their final 2 outs, trailing 4-1.
Been a tough year against the Marlins.
The Marlins sweeping the Pirates in Florida back in April and getting closer to doing that again here. Foul ball.
Some days you go fishing, it just doesn't work out. And we haven't had any luck versus the fish.
Well, if they hang on here, it would be the first time in franchise history they have completed a season sweep against the Pirates. Prior to this year, the Fish had only swept the Bucs in a 3-game series 3 times, the last being in September of 2002. A win today would mark just the 3rd time Florida has swept the Bucs here in Pittsburgh. Jack McKeon won't be 81 till November. Getting closer to becoming the all-time winningest manager in Marlins history. Ludwig strikes out. Pirates down to their final out. If he wins today, he'll need 2 more after that over the last 17 plus games. And he would pass Freddie Gonzalez, who has 276 wins as Marlins manager. Right now, as we speak, it's 274 and working on his 275th. Nunez pitch, and that's in for a strike. Nunez 0-1. Ground ball to short. Murphy charging. Fires, and that is the ball game. And for the first time in Marlins franchise history, they have swept a season series from the Pirates. And Javier Vasquez gets the win today. 12 straight seasons, double-digit wins for Vasquez in his career.
Well, it's not going to get any easier with the Cardinals coming into town. I mean, they got a lot on the line, and we better figure out a way to get this offense going.
4-1, the final score on a day of remembrance, September 11th. Stand by. Pirates post game comes your way next.